If you owe the IRS and you're watching this right now, this is built for you. It's not for tax nerds, and it's for the person sitting on a problem that they haven't told about. Hi, my name is Carlos Samaniego. I'm an enrolled agent. I've been spending over a decade as you can tell, I recently lost my voice. Um, was pretty ill for a couple of weeks and lost my voice at the beginning of this last week, and it's barely starting to come up. But I didn't want to miss another tax debt live weekly. I missed last week's, so excuse the voice, and we're going to try to get through this show. We're not going to be on here too long, just so we have a chance for my voice to get better. Again, this is Tax Debt Live, where I answer questions that people have asked me the past week or over last few weeks, or even live if you come on here live. My goal is just to answer questions. There's really no script other than me writing down some of the questions here. But my goal is to be able to give you some hope, and sometimes in a hopeless situation where you owe the IRS. With that, let's go ahead and get started with question number one. Question number one that I had this week was, can the IRS take my paycheck without warning? And that's a very good question. And the reason that's a very good question is that, first of all, the answer is yes. And I call it a qualified yes. When I say without warning, the IRS and the FTB, the state of California, or Cali Claw, they will send you notices. They will send you notices, a series of letters up to them actually taking your paycheck. But the problem is, if they don't have your current address, that notice may have went to the last known address either the IRS or state has. So that's why I say it's a qualified yes. So they can take your garnish your paycheck, but they will warn you with those letters. The thing that they do not need, they do not need a court order to take your paycheck. They will send you the notices, the series of notices, and then if you don't respond back to those notices, they're going to move. And the one notice you want to pay attention to, it's that final notice of levy. If you get that notice from the IRS or the state of California's franchise tax board, you have to respond. So hopefully that answers that question. This is going to be a lot harder than I expected today with my voice here. Question number two. How fast can the state of California's Cali Call drain your bank account? Here's the thing, guys. When the state of California issues you a bank levy to your bank, the bank will freeze your bank account the day they get that notice. That's how fast it happens. So when you get a notice from the state of California about a bank levy or upcoming bank levy, you have to do something, because the minute that bank levy hits, the bank gets a copy of that notice, they will put an immediate freeze on your bank account. And here's the good news, if there is good news here. When they put a freeze on your bank account, it doesn't mean the money has been taken out of your bank account. It basically means you do not have access to that account until you deal with that bank levy with the state of California. So you got time, and it's not very much time. You got approximately 10 business days to come up with a resolution to resolve your tax issue with the state of California. So hopefully that answers that question. Now, you may be asking, well, what if the IRS took the money? Typically with the IRS, you have about 21 days to come up with the resolution. Question number 3 on Tax Debt Live today. What is the first thing I should do if I get an IRS notice? Here's the 3 words to remember. Don't ignore it. What I see way too often is people basically just not opening the notice, believe it or not. They'll get the notice, they'll put it in a drawer, they'll throw it away, they stick it in a box, they hide it. But you can't do that. If you know you got IRS problems or state tax problems, don't ignore the notices. And here's the reason is that a lot of these notices have very strict deadlines, time deadlines. And there could be a deadline in there that's buried in there that gives you an opportunity to help yourself. But if you miss the deadlines, you miss that opportunity. So if you get one of those notices and you're nervous about opening up the notices, give our office a call. We would be happy to kind of walk you through that process of, helping you understand whatever that notice you got. So the main thing is just that when you get a notice from the IRS, do not ignore the notice because that's the worst thing you can possibly do. That's usually what happens when people end up getting their bank levied or their paycheck garnished. They were warned by a notice, but they never opened up the notice, so they didn't know that that was actually going to happen. So hopefully that answers that question. All right, making it through here. Question number 4 that came in this last week. Will the IRS negotiate? Very common question. And the answer is yes, but not in the way that you think it is. And here's what I mean by that. The IRS does have programs where you can negotiate their tax debt. If you qualify, that program is called an offer in compromise. Now, what the IRS doesn't do, excuse me, what the IRS doesn't do, if you don't qualify, in other words, you have the ability to pay back your tax debt, whether it's because you have assets, you have income over and above your expenses, and you have the ability to pay. They're not just going to negotiate because they want to negotiate and you want to pay less money. There is a very strict financial formula that they figure out to be able to negotiate. But overall, the answer is yes. The IRS will negotiate your tax debt if you actually qualify to negotiate that tax debt. Just looking here to see if any other questions are coming in from our audience members here. All right, perfect. Okay, final question for the day. It might be the best because my throat actually starting to hurt really bad. The longer I talk, the more it hurts. Can I go to jail for not paying taxes? Very interesting question. But the question is almost it's very hard to go to jail just for owing money on basic income taxes. Very hard. Where you can go to jail, there is a possibility to go to jail for payroll taxes. If you are a business owner and you purposely did not pay your payroll taxes or stole payroll taxes, the IRS has the right to criminally charge you and put you in jail for that. That is a possibility. I tell business owners that have payroll tax problems, take it very seriously because jail is always a possibility. Second, as I mentioned earlier, most people will not go to jail for owing money. But is it possible to go to jail for not filing your income taxes? That is a possibility. It's something the IRS doesn't like doing. It's rare that they do it, but they will make an example of you for not paying your income tax or not filing your income taxes, especially if you're a celebrity or a public figure. So the answer to that is possible, but rare. Let's see here. What else do we have? I think that's it. I'm looking to see if there's any questions here. You know what? Today is Holy Sunday. Easter is a week away from this week. You know what? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. We just had a chance to celebrate our grandson's 2-year-old birthday down in San Diego yesterday. But I wanted to come back to you, Tax Debt Live, even with my challenging voice problems here. Hopefully my voice comes 100% back by the end of the week for next Sunday for Tax Debt Live. And with that, if you guys have any questions or like to reach out to our office, you can always call us at 909-570-1103. If you'd like to get a tax debt triage done, find out where you are in your tax problems, go to taxdebttriage.com. And if you haven't picked up my most recent book, Escape the IRS, you can pick that up for free here at Escape the IRS. With that, be talking to you guys later, and have a wonderful week. Take care.